Hey, Bible Talk family, welcome back to Bible Talk with BW, where we read scriptures, we observe it, and then we apply it to our lives. I was just thinking today how fun it is when Jesus will use somebody who maybe isn't a known believer or claims to not believe in God or believe in religion, and he'll use them to say something that kind of reflects God's image. And I'll explain what I'm talking about because that probably made no sense. But I had this moment at work where one of my coworkers came up to me. He said, "Hey, Brandon, um, come here real quick." And so I can't. I went over there, and then he showed me this chain that we used to strap down one of our mowers. And he said, "Hey, do you see this chain?" And I said, "Yeah." He said, "Now look at this link." And he showed me this link, and it looked like um, maybe it had been dragging on the ground, or somebody didn't tighten it down enough, or somehow it was grounded and there was just a tiny bit of chain left. And he said, when I just want to share this with you, so someday maybe you can share this with somebody else. Just teach them to look out for this kind of stuff. And he was saying, he said, this chain where this link is weak is where it's going to break. And I just thought, how cool, because immediately I started thinking about ways that I could use that to teach. And it's like, man, that's so true. Whatever part of our life is the weakest is where we're gonna break first. Especially in our walk with Jesus, or in anything really. Our relationships or our jobs. Um, but I'm gonna focus more on on the faith aspect of it. And he said, yeah, before we take off with this mower and on the trailer, we got to inspect these chains and see if there's any weak links in it that could cause a break. He said, because, this is a very heavy mower, and if one of these chains comes off, the mower falls out, it could do a lot of damage. And the more he talked, the more I was like, man, that could be a message. um, and so I thought I'd share it with you guys because it was super inspirational to me. It was something simple, it was just he was just showing me a chain with a link that was grinded down, but it was so powerful to me because it just it just reminded me that any weak parts of my faith, I need to I need to strengthen, or anything in my life that is tying me down, or I guess in this instance, can cause me to stumble or fall. I gotta break that link off so that my chain can be strong. Um, yeah, sorry. I just wanted to share that with you guys because I didn't want to lose that experience. It was a good it was a good lesson for my work, of course, but also for my life. I feel like. All right. That being said, I don't know if that's gonna have anything to do with what I'm gonna read today, but again, it would be pretty cool if it does. Okay, so I'm just gonna open this up. All right. So we have Exodus. We can do Exodus 1 or 2. I'll do Exodus 1. I think it's fun when I get to start in the beginning of a book. All right, Exodus 1. These are the names of the sons of Israel who went to Egypt with Jacob, each with his family: Reuben, Simeon, Levi, and Judah. Sorry, I paused because some of these names are hard to pronounce. Issachar, Zebulun, and Benjamin, Dan and Naphtali, Gad and Asher. The descendants of Jacob numbered 70 in all. Joseph was already in Egypt. Now Joseph and all his brothers and all that generation died, but the Israelites were exceedingly fruitful. They multiplied greatly, increased in number, and became so numerous that the land was filled with them. Go back to Genesis, and it talks about that. It'll be numerous as the stars. Then a new king, to whom Joseph meant nothing, came to power in Egypt. Look, he said to his people, the Israelites have become too far numerous for us. Come, we must deal shrewdly with them, or they will become even more numerous. And if war breaks out, we'll join our enemies' fight against us and leave the country." So they put slave masters over them to oppress them with forced labor. And they built Pithom and Ramesses as store cities for Pharaoh. But the more they were oppressed, the more they multiplied and spread. So the Egyptians came to dread the Israelites and worked them ruthlessly. They made their lives bitter with harsh labor in bricks and mortar and with all kinds of work in the fields. In all their harsh labors, the Egyptians worked them ruthlessly. The king of Egypt said to the Hebrew midwives, whose names were Shiphrah and Puah, "When you are helping the Hebrew woman during childbirth on the delivery stool, if you see that the baby is a boy, kill him. But if it is a girl, let her live." The midwives, however, feared God and did not do what the king of Egypt had told them to do. I'm going to write that down. They let the boys live. Then the king of Egypt summoned the midwives and asked them, "Why have you done this? Why have you let the boy live?" "Let the boys live," the midwives answered Pharaoh. "Hebrew women are not like Egyptian women. They are vigorous and give birth before the midwives arrive." So God was kind to the midwives, and the people increased and became even more numerous. And because the midwives feared God, he gave them families of their own. Whenever I read Exodus, I immediately go to, the Prince of Egypt, the movie. One of my favorite movies. I think I watched it every single night before I went to bed as a kid. And it's so fun to watch it as an adult, because I liked it as a kid and I still like it as an adult. And when I read it, I just see that movie in my head. But I'm going to try to speak on just this. The Egyptians tried so hard to just control the number of God's people, and I feel like it's super sad. But today there's a teaching that we need to get God out of our schools. If parents would just stop teaching these children religion, and the world will be a better place. And that's so wrong. It's terrible, and it'll never work. Jesus said, if my disciples stopped, the rocks would cry out. You can't stop what the Lord has in motion. It just won't happen. But this idea that religion is harmful is going around right now, and it's so sad to me, because you go to Revelation, and it talks about the tribulation. When all the Christians are called up to heaven, things get dramatically worse afterwards. And if you look today, you take out religion, you take out Christianity, and our culture will it will be terrible. Some people think it'll be better, but it won't. You look at some of the things that we're being taught, and it's terrifying to see that people are trying so hard to control God's children. And it just validates the Bible to me, because Jesus said that this would happen. Revelations talks about it. And you look at the Old Testament, people were trying to control God's children back then even. And I really love these. The midwives, however, feared God and did not do what the king of Egypt had told them to do. They feared God over the king of Egypt, which is so amazing to me. And it makes me wonder, could we do that as Christians today? If we're told to not do something, who's going to fear God over what the authorities say, or over, what our schools say, what, people in higher positions say. If it gets to the point where, like it was when, right after Jesus died, and the great, in Acts, when the church started spreading and they were being persecuted, would we be able to stand on our faith and say, I choose God over man? And yeah, this brings me to one last thing I want to say. Our walk, our faith, it doesn't stay the same. You're either glowing more bright in your walk with the Lord, or you're getting more dim. And this is true for me, and it's true for you as well. The closer you get to the Lord, the more you shine, the brighter you get. But the more you step back from the Lord, the less you shine. And there's no middle ground. You're either getting brighter or you're getting more dim. And so as I'm doing these videos, I've seen, man, it is amazing to be on fire for the Lord. And I don't ever want to stop. But I know if I do, that light will quickly dim. My faith will get less and less. I'll become a weak chain. Hey, look, I tied it together. But I want to be, and I want to raise up, brothers and sisters in Christ who are going to shine bright, because the world needs it right now more than ever, I feel like. And I feel like God is going to do something amazing. And right now is the time to study the scriptures and study the word. And I'm going to keep saying this, Jesus come back today. And if he doesn't come back today, then he's coming back tomorrow. And that's the way I've chosen to live. And I would encourage you guys to do the same. All right, I know this is a little bit longer of a video. I kind of want to start a book and then maybe finish it. Maybe that'd be a fun thing to do. If you guys are interested in me reading whole books or going through whole books, let me know. Yeah, all right, until next time.